Iggy, Spike, and Hopper return to the city of Moreau. The three are feeling a bit discouraged, having not found Cinnamon and Snickers in the dry marsh.
I'm going to report in. Hopefully I can come up with something that will make this whole situation not sound so bad.
We have to report something! I'm certain that it's already made its way back to, Fiona, that we're pursuing someone. She'll expect to know what happened and why we haven't brought anyone in.
You two should find out if Cinnamon and her little friend have returned home. If they have, then we will simply say that we let them off with a warning.
Good idea, Hopper. Then we'll...
Iggy is abruptly cut off as a small dragon pounces him to the ground.
Ah! What are you? Get off of me!
Alright, turnip face! Where's my big sister?
She hasn't come home yet?
Jericho stands on Iggy with his arms crossed, giving Spike and Hopper a very judgmental look.
No! And I want to know where you guys took her! I'll beat it out of you if I have to!
Will someone get this bite-sized problem off of me?
Look here, young man. We were looking for your sister and her little friend.
Snickers!
Yes, Snickers. The little round one. But we are unable to find them, so we assumed they have returned home.
Jericho looks frustrated. He lets out an angered sigh. He steps off of Iggy and lets him float back up.
Alright, I'll spare you three a beating for now. By the way, what was that light that came from the marsh anyway? Was it something important?
We don't know. We never actually saw where it was coming from before it disappeared.
I bet Sis and Snickers found it. If they're on an exciting adventure without me, that would be a major bummer.
Oh, please! As if there's any kind of adventure to have in the dry marsh. If worst comes to worst, they may get lost for an hour or two, but that will just teach them not to go where they're not supposed to.
Yes. Nothing exciting going on out there, I can assure you of that.
Jericho has no idea how right he is. At this very time, his older sister and her boyfriend Snickers are in the middle of an epic battle with the dark needle mouse known as Carbon. He attempts to hit Cinnamon and Snickers with his impressive speed. The two narrowly avoid his quick attack. He knocks Snickers back with a quick kick.
All I want is something to eat. Is that such a crime?
Yeah, when you're trying to eat someone it is!
Snickers jumps using his bouncy legs to kick Carbon with both feet.
Just how many of these little fungi have you eaten already?
Carbon spin dashes both Cinnamon and Snickers, knocking them away.
I haven't eaten any of them yet. All the fields have died, and the only farms still growing any food are the ones that the King of Moreau takes as tribute.
The small truffle fungi, Glimmer, jumps in between Carbon and Snickers.
He must be lying! Someone has been poisoning our crops and been trying to poison us! It must be him!
You stay out of this, or I really will eat you.
Cinnamon jumps up, hitting her signature hip attack. She then sits atop of him, pinning him down and staring him straight in the eye.
If I weren't starving, I would probably be enjoying myself right now.
Hey! Don't you start getting all flirty with my girlfriend! Sen, get off of him so I can...
Cinnamon holds up her hand in a shushing motion.
Wait, Snickers, he's just trying to get you angry. And as for you, you said you haven't eaten any of the fungi?
No, I was just trying to intimidate this one to lead me to her village. so I could find something to eat.
We can't trust him. He's just telling you that so I won't shock him into dust.
Oh, and the electric Louis, are you? I wondered what kind of power you were hiding.
He can get a little electrifying when he's flustered.
Snickers begins to blush as a spark or two can be seen traveling down his tail.
Sin, don't tell him that
You get flustered pretty easily, don't you?
No,
Glimmer gives him a knowing look as he turns even more red in the face.
You could say that, I suppose.
Cinnamon looks around, noticing all the dead foliage. She looks back at Carbon, who is still occasionally trying to wiggle his way free.
So if you aren't the one poisoning everything around here, who is?
It's the Exterminator. He has been walking these lands for years.
What? I thought he was just a legend that Elder Truffle would tell us about to keep us from wandering too far into the woods. You're the only monster I've ever seen around here.
He considers you and your kind to be vermin. He is trying to get rid of you, and his goal is to remain unseen. He has killed nearly all the vegetation in the Green Hills, leading something like me, who just wants something to eat, to come to your village.
Cinnamon looks concerned, but also very enlightened by the information she has received. She leans up and reaches into her shell, pulling something out, and gets up to free Carbon.
If you're hungry, why don't you try these?
Cinnamon presents Carbon with a bag of Cool Ranch 3D crisps. Carbon reluctantly takes the bag, looking at them confused.
You would give me food?
Carbon opens the bag. He takes a bite. His taste buds come to life. He finds himself overwhelmed by the flavor as he cannot stop eating the delicious crisps.
What are these? Some kind of... They're delicious.
Explaining more where these come from if you promise to leave Fungi alone and return to whatever it is you come from.
Of course, these are far better than anything the fungi have ever grown.
Hey, we try our best, you know?
Cinnamon gives Carbon several more bags of crisps to take with him, but Snickers is feeling a bit unsure.
Wait, wasn't the whole reason you pulled Sin into this painting because you knew we had a star piece? But now we're supposed to believe you're satisfied with a couple of bags of chips?
I only wanted your star piece to combine it with the one the Exterminator has. If I could collect them all, I could use them to have an endless all-I-could-eat buffet.
So the Exterminator guy has a Starbit? That was honestly the only reason we were originally coming here. Do you know how we can find him?
I recommend talking with the elder of the Fungi village. He would know better than I. As for me, I must venture to your town to get more of this. Delicious food.
The caretaker said we couldn't leave here without a Starbit.
No, you cannot return to his chapel without the piece. This land exists in the same plane as your home. It's just much further away. Think of the paintings as a teleportation device.
Well, good luck out there. Come on, Snickers. Let's go talk to the boss. It looks like we got a lot more work ahead of us.
I'll take you to the village. My Elder Truffle is the chief, and he will certainly help you.
Anything to get away from this guy.
Cinnamon leans in and caresses Snickers' chin.
Come on, Mr. Grumpy. It's getting late, and I'm sure we can find a place to stay for the night. I'm sure you'll feel much better after we get some rest.
Cinnamon looks at Glimmer as Snickers turns red yet again and wears quite a large, silly smile.
Lead the way!
Glimmer looks up at the still infatuated Snickers with her eyes squinted.
He's got you wrapped around her tail, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Elsewhere, back at the old chapel, Llewellyn, me, is gazing into my crystal sphere, trying to see who is guarding the next of the star pieces. While I look, I notice a dark cloud begin to swirl around the inside of the ball. A ghostly face then appears, looking back at me. I held my ground. I didn't jump back in terror at all. I stared back at one of my foes from the past.
Llewellyn, it's been a while since you have gazed upon the astral plane.
Not long enough. I wouldn't have done it now if I knew I would see you.
You seem surprised. You shouldn't be, seeing as you were the one who trapped me here.
So what do I owe the pleasure?
Someone is seeking the star fragments. That tells me the red comet has returned. Am I correct?
Yes, but how does that concern you? If anything, I did you a favor locking you in the astral plane. You won't be harmed by any of the calamity the creature could bring if you're there.
Quite true. But if you need all the star fragments, then you'll have to come back to the astral plane to get one. From me.
I was shocked to see my old enemy possessing one of the star pieces, but I couldn't let her see my intimidation. I swallowed my fear and responded confidently. Not necessarily. There are many pieces right here in these walls.
Quite true. Quite true. But there will be others awakening to seek them out. I am willing to make a deal for mine. It would save you a lot of time.
What? What kind of deal would you...
You know what I want! Just think it over while you still have time. You know where to find me, just remember, don't take too long.
Queen Fright that vanishes in a cloud of smoke. I did banish her to the astral plane long ago, but when the Millennium Star pieces scattered, one must have spawned into the astral plane with her. I don't wish to make any kind of deal with her. She is not to be trusted. As I walk to the study, Biddy Boo by my side, I see the old television turn itself on. No need to be alarmed, as from within the static television waves, my ghost wife, Pian, emerges.
Hello, my warm-bodied husband.
Welcome home, my dear. How was your day of haunting the local cemeteries?
I was haunting the old mansion today, my dear. The cemetery is tomorrow. What's wrong with you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
A ghost of the past, perhaps. Come with me to the study. I have a lot to tell you about. She floated with me to my study, where I could fill her in on all the happenings that today has held. Meanwhile, back at the Truffle Fungi village, Cinnamon and Snickers follow Glimmer to the main gates of the city. The busy little town is bustling, with Fungis running shops and restaurants, serving up delicious-looking rice balls and running clothing stores and such.
Gosh, I might have should have let old Smelly come here with us. Those rice cakes smell amazing.
I think he's right where he should be. Away from us.
Oh no! He would have had the whole town in an uproar if not for you guys! This way to my elder's home!
Snickers looks over at one of the clothing shops and notices a sign that reads, Digi Legwear available.
I need to stop at that clothes store. If we're gonna be on a big adventure, I'm gonna need to stock up on some clothes.
And they have clothes for your little diggy legs. We totally have to stop after we meet the elder. And look, there's a hotel right there.
Oh yes! We have almost anything you can think of. But with all the crops being poisoned like that green guy said, it is really limiting how much food we have to export.
Well, hopefully we can help with that. If we can get the Starbit and get rid of this Exterminator guy, we'll all benefit.
Exactly. This will be no problem.
Confidence beams off Cinnamon's face as they enter the Elder's home. Two Fungi guards walk over to meet them.
Norville, these are my new friends. They saved me from the crazy needle mouse guy. This is Cinnamon and Snickers.
The Elder Fungi walks up behind the guards.
Cinnamon, the daughter of my dear friend the Dragon King. Oh, make her rest his soul.
You knew my dad, Mr. Elder?
Yes, I was part of your father's team, just as your friend, and it would appear my granddaughter are to you. But with that, new king, I must ask, what has brought you here?
Well, we kind of find ourselves here accidentally. We were looking for the missing pieces of the Millennium Star.
I see. So you are going to confront the Exterminator. He has lost his mind breathing in all those chemicals for so long.
Who is the Exterminator, and why is he here?
He sure doesn't seem to belong here.
No. He was hired well over 2 decades ago to keep the greenhouses clear of thieves and vermin. Since the years have gone by, he now sees everything as vermin, as critters needing to be destroyed. Over the years, we have lost many of our local villagers to him.
But he now is a star piece from the Millennium Star?
Yes. When the pieces were scattered, he obtained one that spawned in the old country. But it is getting late. I suggest you both go get some rest. It sounds like you two have had quite the day. You can track him down tomorrow. Glimmer, she can lead you to his warehouse. We here at the Fungi Village would owe you a great debt. The motel cabin will be happy to have you for the night. Get some rest, young ones.
Thank you, sir. A rest does sound nice right now.
Thank you both again. Get some sleep. I'll lead you to the bad guy first thing in the morning.
Cinnamon and Snickers walk through the town, doing a bit of quick shopping for some new clothes and getting some delicious food. After a tasty meal, the two start to settle in, and Snickers starts to speak what's on his mind.
You know, Sin, if you had asked me where I thought I would be tonight, I definitely wouldn't have said in a cabin in a fungi village. But this is definitely a unique date.
To be honest, I was kind of needing some kind of adventure. I was feeling trapped in the kingdom. So honestly, I'm having a lot of fun. And I'm really glad we're getting some alone time. It's nice.
Snickers gives her a sweet nod and agrees. Since the passing of Cinnamon's father several years earlier, Cinnamon had been a bit of a rowdy delinquent, but after her and Snickers began dating, she has calmed down quite a lot. The two begin to share a rather tender bond. Meanwhile, back in the city, Jericho opens the door to the castle's west wing, the home of him, his mother, and his big sister Cinnamon. When she's not at college or staying with Snickers, he walks into the living room, thinking to himself,
Something bad has happened. I just know it. My hand has been doing that weird tingling glowy thing every time I get in your dad's study. Now Sis is missing. Something's going on and I won't stand for it.
Just then, Jericho hears a familiar sound cue from a spy thriller game. He runs to the couch thinking maybe Cinnamon is home after all, only for him to find
Melka?
Cinnamon's best friend since childhood, Molka, is just chilling on the couch playing some video games and eating some snacks.
What are you doing?
Eating chips.
I can see that. I mean, what are you doing here?
Waiting on my fabulous bestie to come home. She said she would be here soon.
When did she say that? I can't find her anywhere.
A few hours ago. You don't think something is wrong, do you?
Well, I saw a strange light shining from the dry marsh earlier. And from what the guards said, Sin and Snickers went to check it out. The light went away and they haven't been seen since.
Molka jumps up. Jericho steps back as she reaches down and grabs his cheek, squishing his face.
Do you know what this means?
That my sister and her boyfriend are missing?
Not just that, but this is our call to adventure! It's a really important part to any hero's journey.
Okay, but we don't even know where to start looking.
We could start with the glowing symbol on your hand.
You can see it too. Look, it always glows brighter in your dad's study.
Jericho leads Molka down the hallway to the room that was once the Dragon King's study. He reaches for the door hesitantly.
Go ahead. What are you waiting for?
Jericho nervously explains that they were never supposed to go in his dad's study. His mother would be terribly upset if she found out.
Is your mother here?
No, Marlon has had her working late. Something about a comet and blah blah blah. I just want her close by.
Then she won't know we've been in here, right?
I guess if we don't touch anything. And if your clumsy self doesn't break anything.
I solemnly swear not to break anything. My word as a Kangasaur.
Jericho reaches for the door again, only to pull back once more.
You know, maybe the glowing hand thing doesn't actually mean anything.
Jericho, sweetheart, open the door.
Fine. But if Mom finds out, I'm telling her you peer pressured me into it, and you're gonna get the whipping of a lifetime.
Deal.
Jericho slowly opens the door. A faint window light shines through, illuminating the room. Everything appears as the king last had it, and both Jericho and Molka's eyes are drawn to the floating star shard in a glass case.
What is that?
A Millennium Star Shard. We were just learning about them in school. I didn't expect to see one here.
I want to touch it. May I?
What? No way!
Molka takes his glowing hand and gives him the puppy dog eyes.
Please?
Jericho grunts, but he has known Molka his entire life and he can't stand to see her big.
Okay, fine. You can touch it, but only for a second.
Yay!
Jericho opens the case, but as he does, the star piece flies to him, magically merging with his hand, filling in one of the blank spaces on the glowing silhouette.
Whoa! Did you see that?
Yeah. I didn't get to touch it, though.
What does this mean? You need to look around. There must be some kind of clue or something telling us what's going on. Start looking!
Righto!
The two search the old study for clues. In another part of the castle,
Keep your cool, Iggy. Just because she hasn't made it home yet doesn't mean anything.
It means heads will roll if anything happened to her. As long as the king fancies the former queen, we're supposed to keep our eye on Cinnamon and not let her get into too much trouble.
It wasn't our fault she went to the dry marsh. I'm sure the king will understand that.
Oh, you're sure the king will understand what, exactly?
Iggy and Spike are startled as Fiona walks in to confront them. Spike immediately begins to stumble over himself as he's overcome with Fiona's beauty.
Oh, hey Fiona.
Listen, the king has requested a meeting with the two of you now.
What? Now? But I haven't even had time to wash my hair.
The king wants to meet with us. Why?
He didn't say. Oh, but I'm sure it has to do with your failure to bring Cinnamon and her little running buddy in from the dry marsh.
Iggy and Spike look at each other nervously. Just then, a small purple alien comes running into the lobby.
Miss Fiona! Miss Fiona! The king is requesting the two henchmen for their meeting. And he's asking for your full written report as well.
You two best get going. It wouldn't be wise to keep him waiting. And you, seat.
Fiona snaps her finger and Tatako runs over, getting down on his knees. Fiona then daintily takes a seat on his shoulders to begin filling out her report.
Let's go, Spike.
I would much rather be Fiona's seat right now.
Oh, shut up!
The sun has fully set over the green hills. The Fungi village has settled down. The once bustling streets are now quiet as a tomb. Cinnamon and Snickers snuggle close to each other in their cozy cabin. Across the street, Glimmer sleeps in her room. Outside the city walls, a faint hiss can be heard and a repugnant smell fills the air. Two of the truffle guards see the silhouette of the Exterminator running in a stoic manner, almost like he is moving in slow motion, and a loud cry can be heard.
Help! Help! He is after me! Open the gates!
Alright, quick. Alert the elder Fungi. A Florosaur has led the Exterminator here.
The small Florosaur jumps at the gate, frantically trying to get in.
Hurry! He's getting closer!
We're trying, the gate, it takes a moment to ride. Yeah, that's it, that's it. That's a good one.
Snickers springs up in the cabin, hearing all the ruckus outside. He turns and starts shaking Cinnamon.
Sin, something is going on outside. It must be the Exterminator guy.
Ugh. Couldn't he wait until morning?
Cinnamon rolls over, placing the pillow on her head. The door of the cabin flings open as Glimmer runs in.
Guys! Now is your chance!
Snickers is getting dressed, but Cinnamon is still in the bed. Glimmer runs over and leaps onto the bed, bouncing on Cinnamon's behind.
Alright, I'm up!
Back outside, the Exterminator blankly stares at the small Florosaur. A faint groan emits from the Exterminator as he aims his sprayer at her. The little pocket-sized monster sends a mass of razor-sharp petals hurling towards the Exterminator. Using his toxic weapon, he drops the petals shriveled to the ground. Cinnamon struggles to get her new shirt pulled down over her bust. Snickers runs up to the Fungi guards, who are trembling with fear.
Guys, open the gates, quickly!
Oh God, no way the tall man's out there. No, please.
Cinnamon finally manages to get her shirt down.
There's no worries, I got it!
Snickers looks up. He uses his bouncy legs to spring up and over the wall.
Snickers, wait! There's no way I can jump up like that!
Snickers doesn't reply as he bounces off the wall to the other side.
Oh, my little timid boy is gonna be all heroic now.
Cinnamon! Over here!
Cinnamon turns and angrily grabs the bottom of the gate. She starts attempting to lift it with all her might. Outside, the Exterminator approaches, standing over the small Florosaur. Just before he can spray her directly with his toxic mist, Snickers drops in with a powerful double-foot dropkick. The kick makes the Exterminator stumble back. The Florosaur jumps, sending more petal blades into the Exterminator, who is unable to block them. Oh!
Thank you for your help, mister.
Snickers gives her a kind nod. The Exterminator slowly glares back at them and shakes his finger at the two of them. Snickers and his new friend hold their ground. The Exterminator turns a dial on his sprayer and then takes aim.
Be careful. That mist is deadly if you breathe too much. It burns if it touches your skin.
Snickers knows the mist will be less effective on him than on the Florosaur, so he steps in front and readies to counteract this attack. But, in his surprise, the Exterminator fires off a blast of toxin. The energy blast smacks Snickers, throwing him back. Cinnamon and Glimmer power through the gate, only to be slammed into by Snickers. Cinnamon and Snickers shake off the impact.
Oh, Snickers, you okay? Where's Glimmer?
Cinnamon gets up to see poor Glimmer flat, but quickly she reinflates to normal size. A blast hits the wall right next to them. The gang readies themselves, and the Florosaur jumps in with them.
Mysteria? Glimmer! What are you doing here? I saw this guy heading to your village, and I wanted to warn you, but he saw me and chased me here. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry! This guy has poisoned the village for the last time!
The big one isn't afraid of anything, is she?
You have no idea.
The Exterminator takes aim again, but Cinnamon is ready for him. She dodges the blast and hits him with her signature hip attack. Snickers runs up, bouncing off of her shell, and lands a perfectly placed kick against the head of the Exterminator. Glimmer and Wisteria leapfrog off of Snickers' back and do a double headbutt, knocking him against the tree again. He angrily grunts as he goes to fire his sprayer again, but Cinnamon runs up and slams the sprayer against the tree, bending the barrel and rendering the gun useless.
Ha! Now are you gonna... Blech!
The Exterminator grabs Cinnamon. Snickers runs towards them, but the Exterminator throws down a bomb in which explodes into a toxic mist. He drops Cinnamon and runs into the woods. The group all try to clear their way through the mist.
Is everyone okay?
I'm okay too. The buds are bolting a bit though. He's gonna pay for that.
We gotta go after him! We almost had him!
He was headed to his warehouse to repair his sprayer.
You know the way?
Yeah! Follow me!
The group follow Glimmer deeper into the woods. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Malka takes down another book, giving the pages a quick flip. Jericho methodically looks through his late father's desk.
Found anything interesting over there?
A lot of cool stuff, but nothing really telling me anything.
Malka looks across the cluttered room and spots a painting covered in a tarp. Jericho pulls out an old picture from the drawer. The photo is of himself, his father, his mother, Cinnamon, Snickers, and Malka, all of which appear much younger. Jericho puts the picture in his pocket. Malka pulls the tarp off the painting, only to reveal a mural of a large, strange structure.
This is a cool painting.
Jericho walks over to check it out.
Yeah, it used to hang in the living room until...
The star on Jericho's hand glows incredibly bright, as the silhouette of a man can be seen chuckling in the painting.
The son of the Dragon King walks in his father's footsteps.
Two long black tentacles come out, wrapping themselves around Jericho. With their might, they pull Jericho halfway in. Malka grabs his hands, but she's swiftly pulled in too. Malka and Jericho fall between worlds as the same voice can be heard.
Welcome to Carcosia, Dragon Prince.
Elsewhere in the castle, Iggy and Spike nervously wait outside the king's study. Iggy fidgets with his wand while Spike taps his feet.
You don't think we'll get fired, do you?
No, surely the king will understand. Surely Hopper explained everything and told him we couldn't find.
Iggy is interrupted by the sound of Apollalaw's voice behind him.
Iggy, Spike, did the two of you see Cinnamon and Snickers while you're on patrol? Jericho said she hasn't returned home yet.
Yes, ma'am. That's actually why we're here. You see, we couldn't...
Iggy covers Spike's mouth and blurts out,
She's staying the night at Snickerdoodle's house.
Great. I wish she would have come by and told me. But I suppose I'm glad that she told you too. My husband always had high hopes for you two. I'm proud to say you two are living up to his expectations.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Apollo walks away as Iggy wipes a tear from his eye.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying. Well, so what if I am?
The door to the study opens. Hopper steps out.
The king wishes to speak to you two in private.
Even the guards are leaving. Are we in that much trouble?
Good luck, boys.
Hopper and the king's guards step outside. The door shuts behind them. They nervously look at each other and then the king.
Come in, boys. No need to take a seat. I want you both on your feet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You both may not know, but there's been a plan in the works to protect not just this kingdom, but the entire island, our entire way of life, and my right to the throne for many years now. There are numerous fugitives looking to disrupt those plans. I believe you followed two of them into the dry marsh earlier today.
What? Pardon me, my highness, but do you mean Cinnamon and Snickers?
So it was Apollalaw's daughter. That explains why you couldn't find her. She must be teleporting to seek out the shattered remains of the Millennium Star.
The Millennium Star?
Yes, the one power source strong enough to destroy everything we as a kingdom have worked so hard to build. She must have learned it either from locating her father's journal, or she has encountered my brother.
Your brother, sir?
I thought I was rid of him years ago! And yet, my contact in the astral plane claims to have seen him recently. No matter. Follow me. I have something to show you.
Iggy and Spike quietly follow the king, neither of them speaking a word. The king pulls out a dark shard. It looks like the Millennium Star piece, but deeper in color. The large door opens to what appears to be an art gallery.
Gentlemen, welcome to the gallery!
Wow, these paintings sure look simple.
Iggy looks at Spike with the angriest of expressions, but the king lets out a light chuckle.
They look that way because they are portals to another location. The locations that house the shards from the Millennium Star. It requires 6 pieces to form one. But I will give you mine so you may travel through the portals and collect the other 5. Iggy, hold out your wand.
Iggy reluctantly holds out his wand. As bad as he doesn't want to, he dares not disobey the king. The shard shrinks down and enters the gem on the end of Iggy's wand.
Thank you, sir.
I am counting on you two. Now, you two will start here. The shard will guide you to the next piece. Just listen to your wand. Now go!
Right now, Your Highness?
Marlin gives them a very stern look. The king then pushes them both into the painting. Iggy and Spike travel through worlds similar to how Snickers did. The king exits the room and locks the door behind him. Marlin sits at his desk. He pulls the top drawer out and holds up a clearly dated picture. The photo shows a young Cinnamon being held on one side by her father, and on the other by a younger, happier Marlin.
I always knew you would be trouble.
Elsewhere, Cinnamon and the gang approach the large rundown warehouse, overgrown in dead vine.
Well, this is it. And look, the big door is open.
Cinnamon looks down and notices her hand is glowing like it did back when they unlocked the old chapel.
Look, Snickers! The Starbits must be close by.
He must have it hidden inside somewhere.
You don't think he has set a trap, do you?
I thought he is at the time. We were right behind him.
The longer we wait, the more time he has to do something! Let's go!
The four of them walk into the large open floor of the warehouse. A mist permeates through the air. They all scan the floor, looking around for any sign of the Exterminator. Whist points.
Guys, look!
The Exterminator's tank and the damaged sprayer lay on the floor. Snickers looks up and yells,
"Look out!"
The Exterminator falls at a rapid pace, slamming the ground, sending a ripple through the room, knocking everyone back and onto the ground. They look up at him and see the Exterminator has upgraded to an armored spray suit.
A little armor. Is that really the best you can do?
Sin, I probably wouldn't get too confident until we figure out how to beat him.
The Exterminator starts firing missiles from his arm cannons. Upon impact, they detonate into toxic fumes. Snickers attempts to land a kick, but the Exterminator blocks, with Snickers jumping off, landing on his feet. The Exterminator fires several shots at Snickers, but feels a number of petal blades cutting against his back, as Whist runs a circle around, flinging the petals everywhere. Cinnamon grabs up Glimmer and jumps, slam dunking her right into the Exterminator's mask.
Slam dunk!
Nice shot!
The Exterminator then stomps the ground, making everyone stumble as he leaps high into the air with his powerful stomper boots. He falls towards them at incredible speed, but just before he can make impact, a blur of green slams into him, knocking him to the ground. Carbon lands, giving a classy pose and salute to the crew.
Smelly dude?
I wasn't expecting to see you.
Cinnamon uses this time to pull a pepper out of her shell and gobbles it down. The Exterminator angrily gets on his feet and swats at Carbon, who blocks, but is still knocked back. Whisk sends more petal blades, one scarring the tank on the Exterminator's back, which starts to leak. The Exterminator takes aim at Cinnamon and begins to spray the fumes as she unleashes a powerful fire blast. The fire trails the fumes back to the Exterminator, catching him ablaze.
Everyone get away from him!
The fire reaches the Exterminator's tank, and in an instant he explodes. As the smoke clears, the star shard falls to the ground and bounces over to Cinnamon's feet. She picks it up, and as she does, her hand begins to glow. She holds it for a moment and then shrinks and fuses with her hand, filling in one of the slots of the star image.
I think we did it, guys!
Yeah, we did!
A short time later, the gang meets with the Elder at Fungi Village. As a thank you for eliminating not one, not three, but 2 severe threats from our village and our families, I hereby name you an honorary truffle, and we hereby pardon you, Carbon, for scaring us half to death. You can eat here any time you wish.
Elder Truffle, I would like to assist Snickers and Cinnamon on their quest, if I have your blessing.
Of course, my dear Grand Truffle, as long as you promise to return to me safely.
Me too. Can't let my BFF and my new BFFs face danger alone.
We're glad to have you both.
And what about you, Stinky? Are you joining us?
I've had enough excitement to last me a long time. And besides, the truffles are offering to feed me.
Gather round, everyone, gather round. It's a Kodak moment.
The gang goes in for a hug.
I understand. Well, happy eating. As for us,
As for them, the gang has now attained their second Starbit. But now may not be the time to celebrate. Because what happened to Molka and Jericho? What of Iggy and Spike? Find out on the next exciting episode of Starbits.